Okay, I'll start the recording. Okay, so thank you very much, and we'll start this session. And it's called Accelerating Research Discovery Using AI. So this is a product tour of ResearchCollab. So my name's Imran Chuktai. I've kind of published some work with regards to agentic AI, and I'm also part of the team with ResearchCollab and also working on agentic solutions with research technologies. You can follow me on LinkedIn using the link above. So if you haven't done already, sign up for free to researchcollab.ai. So what I'm going to be doing today is going through a number of different demos of the solution and show the different benefits. So as we are been doing research, and myself included, I had to manually go through and read through multiple different papers, and then managing what we read is quite difficult. So that meant going through and managing and maintaining multiple different spreadsheets. So I ended up having different spreadsheets where I would put down the number of citations and some comments about the different papers that I was reading. And over time, this becomes quite difficult to maintain. So what I'm going to be showing you is a way of actually managing that by having the concept of folders and then being able to show, similar to the way that you have in the Excel spreadsheet, where you can have like columns where you type in different kind of author information or keywords. We can also do that as well. And then this allows you to actually easily identify different papers and group things together. And this all leads to faster writing because you actually know which papers have got what type of metadata inside them. So let's go through the first one. So if you haven't seen it already, there's ResearchCollab, so it's the main screen, and we'll go through. So ResearchCollab has a concept of workspace and projects. So I've kind of gone onto the left-hand side and I've clicked on to the number of papers that I've got. So 107 papers. And then we can see them as the saved papers. Here, you can see the folders. So this is the way that we kind of structure our research project, and you can easily create a folder by clicking on the top button. So as you can see, I've got different folders for introduction and literature review, etc. What else you're seeing here is the kind of paper listing screen. And this is the equivalent of having that spreadsheet, but then we take it much, much further. So when you have a paper and you've added it to ResearchCollab, you can just easily just drag and drop it into the different folders that you've created. Again, this makes it very easy to manage the structure of your papers. And one of the things that I've done with my papers, I've actually created some tags, and we'll see that a little bit later. So tags are another way of actually managing those papers and the associations. So when you've uploaded a paper and it's analyzed, you'll see the summary information about the paper. And we'll go into that in more detail. So let's go about and create a tag. So if we've uploaded a paper, say we want to create a new tag. Now we know that this paper is about public trust. So we create a tag and then just give it a few seconds and you'll see where it's got public trust next to that paper. Now, what you can actually also do is that after a while, you've actually built up a library of different tags. So here I've got gap in literature. And so that has been reused across multiple papers. So instead of having to retype it all over again to get the exact one, you just start typing it and it suggests it to you. Now you can see that there's a structure where you've got things like citations in the columns. You can easily switch them on and switch them off. And we have multiple different columns that you can add and remove. And so here I've kind of removed citations, and now we're going to be adding in some other columns. So you could choose summary, you could choose authors, you could choose limitations. Here I've got keywords, and we'll have a look to see what keywords are within ResearchCollab in a minute. So you've got your authors, and then you've got your keywords on the column. Again, this is additional to having it managed by tags. Now, keywords are different from tags because they're automatically generated for your paper. And so you can see the colored keywords on the screen here. And we'll be able to see that in the next kind of videos. So the other thing that's worth mentioning is that on the paper listing screen, there's a menu. And on that menu, so as you start building up your paper listing, you can actually click on the generate report. And what this will do is that it will give you a selection of different columns that you can choose. And then you can actually export your listing, your paper listing, into different formats. And so here I've got CSV, and I can see all my different papers that I've got, the status, if it was cited or not, and the tags that's in there, and other information. So that's actually very useful because it means that you've got one place where you're actually managing this list. Now, for another use case is that where you've got a paper and you've got multiple different references at the end of that paper. Now you might think, okay, well, that could be useful. I could actually go through one of the references and see what that paper's about. So here's an example showing you how you can take the references, and we'll just use one reference as an example. So again, it means that you don't have to do additional searching. You can instantly kind of get the breakdown of the information about the paper. So that includes the kind of challenges and strengths, and we'll see that in this clip. And then it's a very quick way of actually generating the actual bibliography as well. So let's have a look. So now you've kind of gone in. So you've got your paper listing screen here. Now, one of the things that you can do is that you can do add paper and click on the button that says paste references. Now, say, for example, we've gone to Google Scholar, where many people are finding their papers. You've got a citation. So here it's in APA format. You just have to paste it in. And what ResearchCollab will actually do is that you could paste in multiple different citations, and they could be in different formats and have like things which are integrated with text. And it will figure out, okay, so where is that paper? And so it's found the paper, and then you add it as a new paper into your paper listing. So once you do that, you'll see a notification that says it's been added. And you close that down, and you'll see it's starting to process. And this normally takes like a minute or so just to do the upload, and then afterwards it will be the analysis. So one of the other things that we've noticed is that you've got this cited column. So you've got a status, and you've got these other things that you can say. You can actually group papers by if you've actually read them and if you've cited them, or if it's a controversial paper. And so, for example, if it's something that you've cited in your own document, we've kind of highlighted it in this kind of light green. And then there's like other functionality that you can see inside the menu. Oh, just refreshed it. Let's go to that. Go to that menu again. So you can set things like the privacy of the paper so it can automatically be removed from our system. And other things like including sharing some of the analysis with others. So here's the paper, Practices of Governing Agentic AI Systems, was the one that we found in Google Scholar. We can see the authors. It's automatically generated a quick summary. You've got the keywords automatically generated. So instead of actually having to we haven't even read the paper yet, and it's already gone through and it's kind of analyzed it. So here's like a number of different papers and yours different. And so what I'm going to show you now is how you can actually generate different references. So once you've got your papers added into ResearchCollab, you can just select a number of different papers. You choose your referencing style, and then you can just click Generate References. And there's an option there which allows you to copy the references and then just add them into Microsoft Word or other places where you're actually creating your report. So here we're showing that there's searching across your paper listing, and that's also looking at things like the abstracts. But this is important to know that this is actually looking at your actual listing and the same project that you're on. Okay, so now this screen that we're on, okay, which was challenges, that was actually very important because it shows you the different information about it. Then you've got category, and there's like a built-in evaluation. And here you can actually see the paper. So this is the actual paper that you can actually go through and read. And we've also got an AI chat. And here are some friendly questions that are about the paper. And you can see that the AI starts analyzing it and then coming up with a response. And you can configure the response to be like a short response or a lengthy response. And then you can continue. So you don't have to just go with the pre-selected questions. You can actually type them in at the bottom. Okay, so that's everything for that demo. Now, the next thing is to actually look up using these kind of different keywords and finding the information between the different papers. So this would include going through and having a look at interactive diagrams. So let's have a look. So what this means is that you actually go through and you find some connections, and it allows you to do the smart discovery. So you're not sure what you're going to be expecting, and it kind of helps you to actually go through and figure out and save your time. So let's go. So here's a paper, and these are the kind of keywords that have automatically been generated. Now, what we're doing here is that we've clicked on one of those keywords. And what it's doing is actually seeing if there's any papers or any notes that are within your project that have that same keyword. And so then you can actually go to it and then click on it. And it's just a very easy way of actually navigating to another paper or a note that's on your system that's related. So again, you can actually look at the challenges and information from category. And this thing is important as well. So we've like automatically created like an evaluation report. And this can actually tell you things like if there's like a bias or the credibility of the authors. And again, all we've done at this stage is we've gone through and we've uploaded or searched a paper and found it, and it's automatically generated this for every paper. And here are a list of different references and citations. So research is another tab, but this is actually a custom tab. So in a future demonstration, I will show you how we can actually create this. So this is using a concept called templates within ResearchCollab, which is unique. Okay, so here's the viewer, see the paper, and then you can also do like the AI chat. So now, if we go through, we can click on related papers. Now, related papers will show you the papers that are either cited or referenced by this paper. So you can click on those papers. You can see some other additional details about them. So here I've kind of clicked on another one. And again, you can see the different keywords that have been generated and information about the citations and the references. And then you can even add that to your paper listing. So again, it's a convenient way of seeing which papers are actually good. You can see at the top to see, okay, well, you've got the number, the year. And so it's very easy to navigate across. And then after a few seconds, you're going to be adding that paper to your listing. There we go. And that adds to your project paper listing. So there's different ways of visualizing it. So you've got this network where you can actually see papers on the left-hand side, which are not directly linked to the paper, but they follow with the same topic. And then what you can also do is that you can actually say, okay, I want to have papers which have got a minimum number of citations. And so if you've got a paper which has got a high number of citations, you know that that has been, it's a popular paper. So we'll close that down. Going to go back to the paper listing. And there you'll be able to see the papers that we've just added in through the related papers feature. So this works in different steps. So the first step is that it will be uploading the paper, and then afterwards it will analyze the paper. So the idea is that you keep all of your papers in a structured format on your system. Okay, so that's the next thing that I was wanted to show. Now, it's not necessary that you might be starting from scratch. You might have already used other reference managers. So there's like Zotero and Mendeley, other kind of key ones that are out there. And so what we do with ResearchCollab is that we also allow you to import and connect to those as well. So let's kind of see what that means. Again, here, it means that there's no manual uploads, and you can actually see that connection straight away. So here is my Mendeley, and you can see that I've got my number of different papers here, and I've got my different collections. So again, this is the way that I would normally organize within Mendeley. So here we're going to show how to do it. The first step is that you click on the top corner and you go to my account on the menu. Then you go to the integrations from the My Account, and you can see that I've already connected Mendeley, and you could connect Zotero as well. Now, if we go back to the paper listing, and here you'll be able to go to the drop-down menu, which has got actions, and click on import. And import allows you to, again, you can paste in references or do like a bulk import. But here we're going to be clicking on the Mendeley icon. It will know that we've got Mendeley connected. Now this is showing the exact collections that are inside my Mendeley. So I can just select a number of different papers, a number of different collections, and then click on the import button. And then that would start adding them into my list. What we'll also show is how you can quickly do a search for papers. And we'll cover this in more detail. So it's searching across multiple different databases, depending on what you're actually looking for. It provides a list of the top research papers that are related to what you want to find. And we've got a convenient way of actually seeing some basic information about the paper. If you want to go into more detail, you can click on the related papers and it will show you that familiar kind of way of navigating where you can see the citations and the references, and then being able to see that, the abstract and the other information. And that gives you the kind of information for the search papers. So let's go into that in a bit more detail. So why is it important? So in 2025, there were 3.4 million new papers. And so that kind of equates to about 10,000 new papers every single day, which if you're doing any type of research or academic work is just way too many to actually keep on top of. So what's actually very important is to be able to cut through those papers and understand what is actually worth reading, because you don't want to read all of the papers. So we have the functionality that you've just seen, where you can actually search across 460 million papers. And again, this number's increasing every day. And it cuts across multiple different databases, and there's different filtering that you can actually do. So let's see that's in practice. So here we're on the search papers, which you can access from the left-hand side. You can choose if you want to have open access papers or all papers. Now, typically what happens is when you choose open access papers, it means that you can readily add them into ResearchCollab with no issues. So here we're showing that there's different types of filtering you can do, where you want to filter with journal papers or date ranges. It's that familiar screen where you can see the different charts about the papers. Now we'll try adding in a paper. So this paper is showing that it requires a manual download. Now this can even happen for papers which are classed as open access, because they might be behind some kind of security gate, which needs your kind of authentication or checking to see that you're not a bot. And so some papers will actually highlight and show and that this pop-up where it says, "Oh, you have to manually download this paper." And we'll see in the next demo afterwards how to actually work with that. So for this other paper, we've just added it in just by clicking on the Add Papers. So let's go on to the next one. So yes, so what you saw was you saw a message on the screen which says, this requires a manual kind of downloading. So this can happen with open access papers, but it also will happen with papers which are behind a paywall where you have to actually pay separately. So there's different ways of being able to handle this, but we can handle that. Again, the benefit, it means that whether it's open access or if it's a paid paper, as long as you have permission to use that paper and you have that paper available to you, you can use that within ResearchCollab. And then also you can have it so the system will automatically remove that paper if you want to do that from privacy side. So here we're going to show how we can work on that and then some of the other features. So in that same list, we've got add to my papers. We're going to try that same paper again. Same issue again. So this time round, let's preview it. And this is the reason. It's asking for a separate security verification. It's checking to see that you're not a bot. I've accepted the cookies. And now I'm going to access the paper. So now we can see the paper. I've downloaded it onto my machine. So here's my paper, and you can easily just drag and drop the paper into your list, and then it will display this upload file. And you can do this with multiple papers. Alternatively, there's a button called Add Paper, and you can do the same thing there. So here is that familiar step again, where it's actually you've dragged and dropped it, and you can see it uploading. So again, it could take a minute to do the upload. We'll kind of speed it through for the demo. And what you can actually do is that you can have multiple papers where you upload them in batch, and then the system will just go through and work on it in the background. So we've uploaded our paper. This is the same paper. Here's the analysis, the challenges. Again, this could be very useful when it comes to finding out about limitations about a specific paper. Some other information about the categorization of the paper. We've generated the evaluation score. Again, we've got those keywords that you saw in the first two tabs. Here's the paper again. And here you can see that it's generating some recommended questions. But this time round, we'll actually type in our own question. So I'm going to be asking, what are the limitations of this paper? So here it's given a short response with regards to the limitations. And this is like a concise one, but you can actually go for a detailed response as well. And there you can actually copy the citation in different formats. One of the other things that people aren't aware of is that you can actually generate a word cloud. And some kind of research, I've seen this, where they actually include the word cloud of the paper. And you can save that in different formats. And it's actually also used for searching as well. And the other thing you can do is that once you've got your paper, you can actually set it as a favorite. Okay, so the last kind of two demos that I want to show are, one is related to the topic mind map and also the notes editor. So we'll see this, how you can take it from your mind map, take your kind of idea and concepts, and then move it to the outline and then a draft, and what you can do with it then. So again, it's a very visual approach. It allows you to kind of go through and extract information directly from the papers if you need to. And we'll see this, how it's all integrated. So you go on the left-hand side, there's the Find menu, and then click on Topic Map. So here I'm going to do a search for the impact of agentic AI on education. And as you see that the mind map starts generating and being built in front of your eyes. And it dynamically is expanding the mind map as new subtopics are discovered. And then the next stage is it actually looks for papers. So here we've clicked on one of the topics, which was personalized learning. We can see that there are 76,000 papers about it. I like this topic, so I've clicked on the thumbs up for that. And what that will do is you'll see that because I've clicked on thumbs up, you'll see that in the generate content screen. So here I've clicked on another topic, but this time around, I'm going to show you something different. So you can click on the menu item, submenu, and there's a button called intersection. Now, if I take two different subtopics, so it could be even three subtopics, but I've taken two of them. You click on that, and then it synthesizes a new subtopic. So here, we've created a new subtopic, and on the right-hand side, you can see information about it. So there are potentially 4,530 research papers that might be useful that are related to that subtopic. Then you can click on each one. And if you want to, you can click on Add to My Papers, and it will add that to your paper listing. So here I've clicked on the thumbs up for the intersected paper or topic. So now we're going to be clicking on the outline generator. And so the outline generator allows you to create an outline. And as you can see on the left-hand side, you've got the source material, including the intersected topic. On the right-hand side, you've got the lens. So you can actually choose that if you want to have it undergraduate, postgraduate, or professional or researcher, and then the outline can be adjusted based on that. So if we go in and we do it as an undergraduate and standard essay, just for this example, and then you can actually edit the outline or add in some additional points. So now we're going to just generate an initial draft. And here you can see the basics of an initial draft. What we'll do is select some text and then click on related papers. So here's the menu, and let's click on related papers. We'll see a number of interesting papers. And these will be focusing on the text that we've just seen. And again, we can see that familiar diagram. So as you can see, that add to my papers is, you can see that appearing in multiple different places inside the application. So it makes it very convenient for you to create your paper listing and then keep it up to date. So let's select the text again, but this time we'll do something a bit slightly different. We'll find one of the papers and we'll click on Cite. And so if you wanted to select some text, you can actually have the authors listed and start building up the references. And you can also have this at the bottom of the document as well. Now I've selected some text on the background and you're thinking, okay, well, this is quite brief right now. Let's expand it. So you click on the option to expand, and then you can apply that. Now, one of the other things that you can actually do is to use the personality wizard, and this starts building up a profile, and this can help for things where you want to make it like your own voice. And we'll be demonstrating this in a future session. And then once you're done, you just saved your draft. If you want to, you can actually also add additional comments in via audio. That's that. So that's everything that I wanted to show as part of this product tour for ResearchCollab. Thank you very much for watching this. We do really appreciate any kind of feedback that you provide us, because we're looking to keep on improving the solution. As you've seen, that we've made many updates over the last weeks, and we'll continuously keep on improving it. So thank you very much for all the support. By all means, use the feedback link that I provided on the screen. And if you provide some feedback, you've got a chance of winning a free annual pro subscription. So please go ahead. So thank you very much, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye. Let me stop the recording.